And the word of Samuel was fulfilled to all Israel, and Israel went out to war against the Philistines, and they encamped beside Ebenezer, and the Philistines encamped in Aphek. Philistines arrayed their troops against Israel. The battle spread, and Israel was beaten before the Philistines. And they slew in the battle array in the field about 4,000 men. The people came to the camp, and the elders of Israel said, "Why has the Lord beaten us today before the Philistines? Let us take to us from the Shiloh the ark of the covenant of the Lord. He will come in our midst and save us from the hand of our enemies." People sent to Shiloh, and from there they carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, who dwells above the cherubim, and there with the ark of God's covenant were Eli's two sons, Hophni and Phinehas. And it was when the ark of the Lord's covenant came into the camp that all Israel shouted a great shout, and the earth stirred. The Philistines heard the sound of the shout, and they said, "What is the sound of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews?" And they knew that the ark of the Lord had come into the camp. And the Philistines feared, for they said, "God has come into the camp." And they said, "Woe is unto us, for there was nothing like this yesterday and before yesterday. Woe is unto us! Who will save us from the hand of this mighty God? This is the God who smote the Egyptians with every sort of plague in the wilderness. Strengthen yourselves and become men, you Philistines, lest you serve the Hebrews. As they served you, you shall become men and fight." Philistines waged war, and Israel was beaten, and they fled each man to his tents. Now the blow was very great, and there fell from Israel 30,000 infantrymen. The ark of God was taken, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, perished. And the man of Benjamin ran from the battle array, and came to Shiloh on that day with his garments torn and earth upon his head. And he came, and behold, Eli was sitting on the chair beside the road, anxiously waiting, for his heart trembled, for the ark of God and the man had come to tell in the city, and the whole city cried out. Now Eli heard the sound of the cry, and he said, "What is this confused noise?" And the man hurried and came and told Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were set, and he could not see. The man said to Eli, "I am the one who has come from the battle array, and I fled from the battle array today." Arid, he said, "What happened, my son?" And the one who had reported the news answered and said, "Israel fled before the Philistines, and also there was a great slaughter among the people, and also your two sons perished, Hophni and Phinehas, and the ark of God was taken." And it was when he mentioned the ark of God that he, Eli, fell off the chair backwards through the gate opening, and his neck broke, and he died because the man was old and weighty, and he had judged Israel for 40 years. And his daughter-in-law, Phinehas' wife, was with child ready to give birth, and she heard the news concerning the ark, the taking of the ark of God, and that her father-in-law and her husband had died. She knelt and gave birth, for her pains had suddenly come upon her. And about the time of her dying, the women who were standing by her said, "Do not fear, for you have borne a son." She did not answer, neither did she heed. And she called the child Ichabod, saying, "Glory has been exiled from Israel, because the ark of God has been taken, and because of her father-in-law and her husband." She said, "Glory has been exiled from Israel, for the ark of God has been taken."